plug the battery in. That will help. So, I'm just working right now, monitoring the chat, working on school stuff. Not like I'm in school, but for the school community, the Primal Diet school community. Damn, I want a soda right now. But I can't do that. It's bad. A sarsaparilla. Ugh. Yeah, I'm chugging milk, so what? Sue me. It doesn't matter. My digestion's too good. Yeah, it was fine. I'm just, I've been working on the vegetable juice document I'm putting on the school, so I figured since I'm going to be doing that, it's like I could listen to music or I could just stream. So I decided to just stream and work and monitor the chat. As exciting or as boring as that is for some of you, for me. How's your day? What's going on? Well, the regular hot baths are, you use the same ingredients. It doesn't, just because you're taking a special kind of bath, it doesn't, it's always the same ingredients, right? If you're using municipal water. I might do a gaming stream. I might play SimCity 3000. That's it. We're doing a gaming stream. I think I can pull it off. A better mic. What's wrong with my mic? Do I need to turn it up? Do I need to turn my mic up? Can you hear me now? Is this too loud? Are we good? Test. 1, 2, 3. Test. Nah, but for real, is the mic? I'm getting good levels here. We're just clipping a little bit. We're just clipping. It's just really quiet. Yeah, no, I turned it up a little bit, so it's clipping a little bit. I wasn't talking as loud either because I was kind of like focused on typing something, so my my attention goes from the voice to other things. That's the secret about speaking, is you need to have your attention fully on the speaking and the voice that's coming out. When you don't do that, you're distracted. So when I was asking ChatGPT some things, I was distracted and I was quiet because I wasn't fully focusing on delivering you my voice. What type of content? Oh, SimCity 3000. It's a very slow game. Let me try to move my... Yeah, I mean, it's pretty close. It should be close enough. I mean, I always have good... Yeah, I did do a little ear rape on you guys just as a gag, just for fun. But, you know, I've got it clipping. It's clipping a little bit, but that's okay because the mic is... It's sufficient, right? I mean, I don't get it why people... They want, like, the 4K screen and they want the perfect mic. It seems a little exuberant to me. It seems a little exuberant. I think there's a little homeliness, a little earnestness in not the perfect quality. It makes me a little more human. If it's pineapple or papaya hooping squad, you don't have to wait. Yeah. What content do I consume for fun? Well, mostly anime nowadays. Anime is what I put on at night to relax. You know, Sunday's big day. That's new One Piece anime. One Piece is great. Manga. So manga I'm reading right now are One Piece, Chainsaw Man, Hajime no Ippo, and Boruto. I'm reading those weekly, monthly, whatever they come out. TikTok. And I don't really scroll Instagram too much. Maybe like a few people, a few mutuals, I will watch their things. But in general, I don't really watch Instagram. YouTube, Theoria Apophasis. I told you about him. Ken Wheeler. He's good. Adapt 2030 sometimes. Oppenheimer Ranch Project. I do need to get in the habit of reading books. I was in an internet book club on X, on Twitter, and yeah, we were reading poetry by T.S. Eliot, and we were reading The Road by Cormac McCarthy. But the other two people who were active in the group are teachers, and the school year started, so they're too busy. Plus, they got personal stuff, unfortunately. So in the summer, it's something. I've never watched NHK. My favorite animes are Trigun, Cowboy Bebop, Hajime no Ippo, One Piece, Yu Hakusho, Naruto. Yeah, off the top of my head, those are pretty good anime. Oh, Hellsing Ultimate. Yeah, newer anime are not great. They did a Trigun reboot and it's really bad. Yeah, the hand-drawn anime had a certain magic to it. Instagram does suck. X is also, it sucks too. X is garbage. X is an echo chamber. And, it's like supposedly censorship free, but it's not. It's a lot of censorship and shadow banning on X and throttling. It's literally just an echo chamber for whatever topic you're into, whatever thing your algorithm decides. It's just an echo chamber. A lot of content has become that way. Twitter actually used to be interesting 10, 12, 13 years ago. Evangelion, yeah, that's good. I have not seen the reboots. I would like to see those. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's always good creators on platforms. Um, Nagolo, he has some interesting stuff, but it's just the health. He's probably the most interesting health person because he's actually like doing things that isn't just like copying Ray Pete or Augenis. It's like I'm at the point where like, oh, dude, somebody paraphrased what Augenis said. Oh, dude, look, this is what Augenis said. Oh, wow. Big deal, dude. Like, yeah, I read the books. Like, who cares? It's so dumb. Um, I don't know. That's from me, like, because I know all this stuff. So, but in general, it's just an echo chamber of, whatever ideas or, whatever. It's kind of stupid. And, yeah. Yeah, I hate all the big internet platforms, really, except for TikTok, because the TikTok algorithm is good. There's actually people making interesting things on that stuff. Um, Thank you for listening to the streams. Yeah, I think Sean Baker is on TRT. He's got to be. There's no way he isn't. Because, like, if you look at his head, like, you just look at his head, man. His head, like, screams TRT. The gut flora of C-section babies. I don't know. Just do the diet, man. Like, just do the diet, honestly. Fermented foods and that kind of stuff. Yeah, Soul Bra is pretty funny. I was in a group chat with some people, and Soul Bra's in there, and he was always like sharing his posts and telling people to like go like them and stuff. He's like, why does go look at my post, or why aren't you guys showing up in my comments? It's like, dude, you have 200,000 followers and sell $55 shirts online, and we all have like small accounts, and yeah, you might retweet us or something, but you don't leave comments, and you really don't like bring us up, like. And he's always asking questions like, oh, what about this, and what if I do this, and what did Augenis say about this? And like people answer him, and like I stopped answering him. I don't really do that too much, but it's kind of like, some people, they just kind of like take advantage, and not that it's like taking advantage. It's kind of like I'm sometimes the same way. Like, just keep asking. It's kind of a sales thing. Like, just keep asking for something, because the worst someone can say is no. It's not necessarily rude to ask, but sometimes people are a little pushy for it. But if you are asking and taking, you should be giving and receiving. You should be reciprocating. So some people don't really reciprocate like that. I try my best to reciprocate, or I have a little hyper independence issue, but that's a whole nother whatever. I mean, at least Soul Bra like acknowledges Augenis and stuff. A lot of people don't. I'm curious what the challenge is. Interesting. El Ruteri. I never even heard of that. Yeah, I mean, just more fermented meats and dairy, honestly, would be the way to fix the gut. Oh, well, what is the meme? You can't just tell me there's a meme and then not do it. I mean, not tell, like, inform me. You guys got to keep Unk in the loop, please. You gotta be patient with me, okay? I'm basically a senior citizen at this point, so I'm a 30-year-old boomer. How we doing? Oh, nice. 5 viewers, 1 like. Huh. He does a lot of LARP posting, like, oh, the remigration, stuff like that. Raw cod, Maxie, nice. Raw cod's a nice fish. It's a nice fish. A whitefish is a really nice thing to eat in the summer because it's very cooling. It's very light. Beef is kind of heavy. If you have the right sauce and stuff, I mean, it's not too bad. But yeah, fish is nice in the summer. Fish hits different. You can't really fault a guy for that, you know. I mean, I have a group. Um, you know, he's selling a lifestyle. He's selling himself as a product. So, you know, he's gonna do that. That's not necessarily wrong. I think I have more of an issue with $55 shorts. You know, like shorts too. I think that's a little ridiculous. I mean, look, people buy them. You create a brand or whatever, but like I would never buy $55 shorts. Even if I had millions of dollars, I would never buy $55 shorts. Thank you. I think my price could probably clip at $28 to $30, depending on how much content and how active I become. Um, 55 is a lot though, but there's people who pay it. You know, there was this one guy. I don't even want to say his name, but you probably know who I'm talking about. He does. He basically does like the Primal Diet Light for entrepreneurs and stuff and crypto scammers, and he charges like $7,000 for his program. He's like, yeah, give me $7,000, and I'll let you in my Discord, and you know, I guess there's like some food sourcing and stuff, but yeah, crazy. And then he like eventually he never talked about Auginus, and then he finally did. But yeah, he's like, yeah, my program's $7,000. It's crazy. I mean, don't get me wrong. If I was around rich people like that, I'd be doing that too. But like to make content and not even acknowledge Auginus, like, yeah, I came up with this diet because one day I was at a restaurant and I said, oh, you know what, waiter, just bring me the steak raw. I just want to eat a raw steak. And then that's how. And then I ate it, and my life changed forever. Like, how fucking corny is that? Excuse me. How corny is that? How unbelievable is that? Michigan has herd shares. So, in fact, my Amish farmer was telling me about this Amish farmer in Michigan who's like has like 500 customers or 500 members. So, I mean, raw milk is very, you know, it's not impossible to get in Michigan. Just get a herd share. Go to farmers markets, ask around, ask the Amish. Um, yeah, yep, yeah. I could see myself doing like $30 a month tops once I populate everything. You know, all the courses and stuff. That's kind of the goal, and it will ramp up over time. And but I mean, once you join, you're locked in. I think that's the way school works. It's like, so once you sign up for 15 a month, even if I raise it, you won't have to pay that again. I also offer discounts if people sign up annually. So, I mean, that's pretty generous. I mean, I offer like, what is it? If it's $15 a month, that's 150, $180 a year. I offer $40 off, $45 off if you buy once a year. So you basically get 3 months for free. That's a pretty good deal. It's like 25% off. Um, Zins are disgusting. That's how you get stomach cancer. Um, it's better to smoke, honestly, probably if you want nicotine. No, Bill, I try to keep my language clean. I don't like to curse. It's not good. Um, so yeah. Paul runs Creamland Acres. He's Amish. What are my thoughts on nationalism? I think all people have a right to self determination. Nick Gum. Nick Gum, same thing. Nick Gum will also erode all your enamel, by the way, and mess up your stomach. So, probably still worse than smoking. I mean, it's all bad. There's really... The nicotine patch is probably the least harmful nicotine delivery mechanism. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter if you just swallow the Nick juice or not. It's seeping down into your throat, even if you're spitting all the time. Little bits you ingest little bits. It's impossible to bypass that completely. So you just can't get around it. Oh, so I found Paul's Facebook page, and I had a great talk with him because he's read Augenes's books, and he knows John Fisher, who's a regenerative farmer out of Virginia. John Fisher was speaking at a regenerative farming conference for the Amish, and Paul was there, and Paul somehow he knew about Augenes, and maybe Phoenix told him, and he called me because I called him, and I said, hey, I can get you a lot of customers. He said, oh, that'd be great because I'm just trying to get in business. And yeah, so I posted his stuff. I asked him, I was like, is it okay? Because you're going to get a lot of business. He's like, yeah, that's fine. So I posted his information on Instagram and I think Twitter maybe, other places, and I spread it around, and yeah, he's doing real good now. So he's doing real good. He's got great products. He ships in glass. He can ship in glass or plastic. And Paul has also hooked me up with a couple other farmers, Amish farmers, who want to supply the Primal Diet people food, Primal Standard food. So one of the other benefits of my school is that school members, they get first dibs and discounts to access to the PMAs that I'm setting up. The first one that's going to come online is chicken. A fellow named Joseph Miller out of Northeast Ohio. And he has no corn, no soy, non-GMO supplemented feed birds. And they're going to be really great. I'm going to go out. I want to go out and see him probably towards the end of October. He's thinking after Thanksgiving he might be able to start sending birds. It'll be about $30, $35 for a bird. You get the liver and the heart. Yeah. I'll get to all your questions. Let me answer Andrew first. The Amish religion is a Dutch version of Christianity. They're really not that different from Protestants. They're like more traditional Protestants because they follow the Old Testament laws. They believe in the Old Testament laws. That's why they don't use electricity. That's why they don't drive cars. That's why they do stuff with their clothes. That's why they try to be humble. So they're like a old covenant, Old Testament Christian with New Testament stuff sprinkled in. But all the Amish are not created equal. It depends on the community, right? The communities have different standards, so it's not centralized. But they basically are like Protestants with Kaczynskiism. If you place an order by phone, yes, Paul doesn't recommend to leave your card info on voicemail, but Paul will call you. If you call him, just tell him you want to order what you want to order, and he'll call you back and run your card. And then you'll be set. I don't know. He wasn't charging for shipping, but that was months ago. That was like 7 months ago, I think. maybe even longer. Where do I get my blood? I don't. I don't really drink blood. It kind of upsets my stomach, and I don't really like it, honestly. I think blood is a little overrated, and it's hard to get good blood, yes. If I were to get blood, it's from animals I slaughter only. It's from animals I slaughter only that I know are healthy, because I'm not going to buy blood from some random place that is, doing some random animals. Frank Tufano's website is okay. I guess his cheese is all right. I don't know the quality about his other dairy. I think a lot of his stuff is frozen, which some people care about. Frankly, too expensive for me. I don't need to order that stuff. If I was going to order stuff online, it would be from Healthfully Farm, maybe Amos Miller, maybe North Star Bison. I would rather support them. North Star Bison, they sponsor the Primal Diet Conference. They're a great sponsor. They've got really good products. I mean, their glands and organs are frozen, but you're not going to get bison organs anywhere else. It's on my list to talk with the fellow there, the owner's son, about shipping things fresh, because he knows that's a thing, and I just have to explain to him, like, I don't know how that works for their business case and their volume and their turnaround, but people don't really care that stuff doesn't come cold or frozen if they're primal. So yeah, it is hard with Amos to do business, but Creamline Acres, it's the first thing on my Instagram pinned message. It's a Facebook. It's just a phone number. You call Paul. Better call Paul. The butter isn't $8. The butter is $12. The cheese is also $12, I believe. I do know a guy that has cheese for $8 a pound. No salt cheese, $8 a pound. His name's Justin. He's Amish, out of Pennsylvania. I set him up, and that's a school exclusive, guys. That's a school exclusive. The cheese is a fine product. Creamline Acres is actually a better product, but it is more expensive. But for me personally, I would still buy Justin's cheese because it is $4 a pound cheaper, and that difference isn't so important for me. The nice thing about Creamline Acres cheese is that it's not heated, but the other source is heated to 102, so the phosphorus is lost, but it's still good. Yeah, 12 is still good. 12 is still well below, like, Amos prices. So, Xander, I have a school, SKOOL, a school community, and I have food sourcing there, but it's not available. I'm not giving it out unless you're in the school. So you have to sign up for the school to get some food sourcing. I give a lot of alpha away for free, but I give a lot of alpha away for free. I give away all the food sources you need, but there's food sources I keep in house because they're my sources, and yeah, that just has to do for that. They have cheddar cheese at Creamline. They don't really have a menu. It's butter, cream, cheese. That's it. Dietary intervention to fix Barkay's unstable nervous system. Lots of sour cream and fish. Pretty standard. Have I seen any questions? Let me go back up here and look. Yeah, I don't like blood. It is unnatural. I'm a slave. Yeah, no. I understand the hesitancy with the phone ordering, but I text Justin for cheese, and I get my order all the time. Paul isn't going to screw up your order. It's kind of hard to screw up. It's different than Amos, because Amos has a whole warehouse, And Amos has his own farm, and he contracts with farms to get product. So Paul it's a one-man operation, and he's pretty on top of things. So the Amish are always very good about. Their Amish are almost too trusting. So, you know, you shouldn't worry about it. They'll make things right. What happened to Frank Tufano? Yeah, it is brutal. Do I drink any? No, I don't drink any blood. Okay. The cream I haven't had. I think it's pretty good. I would just ask Paul. Ask Paul if he runs it through a cream separator or if he skims it. If it goes through a cream separator, it's going to be better. It's going to be thicker because you're going to get more of it as opposed to just skimming it. I think it's pretty good stuff. I'm pretty sure it is. I think Paul has a pretty good product. His cheese is great. I mean, his cheese is really good. So he knows what he's doing. His cream is probably good too. But yeah, just call him and ask. He'll tell you straight up. You know, he's an honest guy. Better call Paul. Like Better Call Saul, but Paul, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm yapping too much. I need to do more work. Two pints. Let's say 4. Yeah, they don't have a Venmo. They don't have a Venmo, so they can't have a Venmo because it's a app. So it's just the card reader. They just have a card reader. My favorite dairy farm is the one I buy from because the butter's amazing and it's $5 a pound. They don't have cheese, but the milk is cheap. For cheese, I would do Mountain Meadows or Creamline Acres, but I buy from Mountain Meadows because it's cheaper. So, and honestly, I don't really eat the cheese for the minerals. For minerals, I do clabbered milk and scallops and oysters. The dried cheese is really more so for the cheese is really more so for indigestion. That's primarily why you eat the cheese, or cheese with dates and butter. Cheese, butter, honey sometimes. I should do more of that. I have a bunch of honeycomb I need to eat. Honeycomb, cheese, and butter is actually really good. Yeah. I bought honey in July, and I haven't eaten it. The honeycomb. I need to do that. I just forget about it. It's under a bunch of stuff. Yeah, the Amish, yeah, they're peculiar, but I mean, they're growing. The population's growing, so whatever they're doing, it's working for them. You know what I'm saying? They're good, God-fearing people, mostly. You know, like I said, not all Amish are not created equal. So it depends on the community they're a part of and what their community allows and doesn't allow. For instance, I don't know if I've told this on the stream before. I probably have. Amos Miller used to be a okay, I'll get back to the Amos story, but let me answer Andrew's question first. Yeah. Absolutely. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, Einstein was the first celebrity scientist. So he was the guy the media pushed and put out in his theories. Because he's like the guy quantum physicist, you know, they'll all refer to. And yeah, he kind of spawned the cult of quantum. So, yep. Thank you, Andrew. So Amos has an online store because, first of all, Amos is a black sheep. He was exiled from his community, basically. He was shunned. Amos used to be a preacher in his community. Amos used to preach at church. And the Amish did not like that Amos was kind of butting heads with the government. He charges a lot for his product because he has a lot of overhead. I mean, he runs a big operation, and he also has a lot of legal fees, right? So Amos has to charge a lot of money, especially because he offers a premium product that takes time and money to make, right? So the Amish are humble people, so they don't really like to make money, okay? They they the other reason they blacklisted Amos was because his prices were too high. They said, you're selling this organic food and you're making too much money, and that's prideful. That's not doing what God wants. And so they shunned him. Again, with the government stuff too, raiding his farm, him kind of butting heads with the government, not yielding. The way he set up his business is really what's causing him a problem. A lot of Amish food people will label everything as pet food to get around this, but Amos, being the honest man he is, doesn't want to lie, so he doesn't label it as pet food. So he makes more trouble for himself for being an honest man. One of the other reasons he might be blacklisted, and this is maybe less so, but very interesting, is Amos Miller eats raw meat. And I've said this before. He came to the Primal Diet Conference. He gave a nice little talk, and he ate food. He ate raw meat. I ate raw meat with Amos Miller, bro. He's in his early 40s, late 30s, I think, and he looks very healthy. He's all about raw foods. But yeah, his father, he does the organic farming because that's what his father did. And a lot of Amish are not organic. A lot of Amish use pesticides. It's true. Just because you're buying something Amish doesn't mean it's clean. Amish vaccinate. Amish use pesticides, herbicides, Roundup, all that stuff. I mean, they're allowed to. It's mechanical spray. You don't have to use electricity. So you always have to get to know your farmer. You just can't trust it that they're Amish and, oh, it's all clean and organic and Amish. No. The Amish, they eat a lot of garbage, like a lot of, white flour, sugar, processed foods. The food they farm and make, they tend to mostly sell it to the English for money instead of eating it. So, yeah, that's how a little bit how the Amish world works. So, yeah, next time, yeah, the Amish are pretty honest people generally, but sometimes they're not. It depends. It really depends. But you can almost tell on someone like how someone honest is. That's one thing about the diet. That's helped me. It's helped tune and key in my intuition and how I read people. Yes, raw meat is taboo for them, in a way, because they view it as meat should be cooked because the Bible said so. Because the Bible said don't drink blood, and they view raw meat as blood, essentially. And now it's different in the communities. Like my Amish client, I'm pretty sure he had to get permission from his church. I should ask him about this. To eat raw chicken. Maybe it's different because it's not beef and it doesn't look like blood, but he's been to 4 hospitals, and he went to Mexico to some health retreat, and his health is getting better because he's eating the raw eggs and he's eating raw chicken and a little bit of sour cream. But he might have had to get permission. I'll have to ask him. But yeah, you have to get permission from your community church to do things like have an online store, use certain machinery, or do something with your business, or because they're all very community oriented, and it all comes back to their church. So yes, raw meat is mostly taboo for them. John Fisher, he got in trouble at the conference with his community because we slaughtered a lamb and we put the blood in the milk, and we all drank the blood in the milk. And he was kind of awkward about it because, and he knows about raw foods, and he knows the raw food is healthy, but he's like, I just can't do that. And so the slaughtering was kind of wrangled together last minute this past year because John Fisher was supposed to help, but then he was kind of uncomfortable with it, and he didn't want to get flack from his community because he was helping us slaughter this animal and people were drinking its blood. So yeah, so we're like, we'll just do it. So Phoenix did it, and some other helpers, you know. But yeah, so yeah, that's a little bit about the Amish. Beef liver, I'm not really too crazy about the taste of beef liver. Some people say, oh, it's sweet and delicious, but I don't really. I'm not too into organs and glands. I don't think they taste very good, but they make me feel good, so I will eat them for the health benefits. I've heard, if it doesn't taste good, it's not a good source, and that might be true. But I get liver from a good source, and like I said, it doesn't taste bad, but it's not. I don't get excited about it. You know what I'm saying? But if it tastes terrible, you definitely want to ask the farmer. That's the other thing too, is they can give injections to animals that are certified organic. There are organic injections, organic vaccines they give animals. So, just because the animal's organic doesn't mean they don't get those things. So you always have to ask. Yeah, Amos is really chill. Amos is a really cool guy. It was funny because he left the conference, and the Amish have these they're like scooters. They're like push scooters, but they have big bike wheels, and he and Amos just pulls off, scooting away on this mechanical Amish style scooter. It was pretty funny. It was pretty dope. It was crazy. It was very hard. Very stylish. Okay, Bill, stop complaining. Let me go back. Okay, Andrews, yeah. I think it's because you said something about Jews in your comments and Satanists. It's probably why it got filtered. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the Amish do have a lot of those same parallels to Orthodox Judaism because they do the Old Testament laws. So, hello, Jake. Oh, yeah, it is a little earthy. Irony is probably the right word. Irony. Because liver's high in iron. I've listened to some Weston A. Price podcast, and the guy said liver should actually be higher in copper if the animal's raised right, and they're higher in iron, which isn't good, and you need more copper to offset the iron. This is why in the book that Augenis suggests leafy greens such as spinach in vegetable juices if you eat a lot of eggs. Beets are irony as well, but I think beets taste better than liver. Beet juice tastes better than liver. It's an earthy sweetness. It's a pleasant earthy sweetness. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good about this section. Glad to hear it, Andrew. Thank you for the support. Thank you for showing up. Yeah, y'all turned out tonight. That's great. 8 views, 5 likes. I'll take it. I get a little sidetracked because, like I said earlier, I want to focus on I want to focus on what I'm saying and not just I'm building this document for my school community, and I'm soft shilling my school community by doing that. Spelling error. I do need to run it through a spell checker. Oh. Can I do watermark? Yeah, I'm watermarking this shiz, bro. I wonder if I can, like, no, I can't. Oh, well. Leave what out for 36 hours? Oh, the pickling? You leave it in the fridge for 2 days. It gets better the longer you leave it in, though, but you can eat it after 2 days. The raw chicken is very good. My go-to chicken recipe is it's any type of chicken minced up with olive oil, lemon, black pepper, parsley, cherry tomatoes. You can also do like a lemon pepper, sweet lemon pepper chicken, which is just lemon, pepper, honey. I like to add parsley to everything pretty much. And cherry tomatoes. That's fire as well. You could make a chicken tikka masala. And this is a recipe I'd like to perfect. It's basically just like, yogurt, ferment or marinate the chicken in yogurt with spices, raw yogurt with spices. So you do like a little cardamom, nutmeg, black pepper, masala. And then, very small amounts of this stuff, right? I'm talking like half a teaspoon, quarter teaspoon. And then you would make the tikka masala sauce with tomatoes and butter. Or like, I guess maybe this is more of a butter chicken. You could do butter chicken or chicken tikka. It just depends on the spices you use. And you need some like cilantro and, some other things. It just depends. But yeah, the butter and tomato is the base of the sauce. And you use olive oil as well, onions, shallots, or whatever, and your spices and herbs, just whatever it calls for in the recipe. And you could get it really good. Yeah, the secret with the chicken, butter chicken and stuff, and tandoori chicken is to marinate the chicken in kefir or yogurt for a day. Creamline Acres? I don't know. Ask Paul. Call Paul and ask him. Drop the link, homie. What link? Mud Daddy 420. Oh, I like that. Mud Daddy. Let's look at your channel. More about Mud Daddy. Okay. Respect. He's a car guy. What are you talking about? I'm talking about preparing and eating raw foods. People ask me about raw chicken. So, Mud Daddy, I eat something called the Primal Diet. I've been eating raw meat for 8 years. And if you just look up I Wonder TV, Eat Raw Meat, that's me. So if you want to watch that, check it out. This diet isn't for everybody. Maybe you think I'm just some freak, some crazy freak online. I don't know. So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about eating raw meat. How are you still on about Walker? Walker will show up. I guarantee it, because he's not rising up the huzz at college. Andrew, I think, rethought his comment because I don't want to be a chef. I used to work in a kitchen in a food truck and stuff. I was a good cook. I was a good baker. But it's just, there's not a lot of money in it. I want to sell out to the military industrial complex. That's my goal. Not doing this, but something else. It's not important. Mud Daddy is based. We're going to pin your comment, Mud Daddy. Based. So, Mud Daddy, hear me out. What's better than raw hamburger is a raw steak. The raw steak, a whole raw steak, whole raw cuts of meat, are also going to be healthier for you. Your body is going to be able to like use it better, and it's not chopped from the grinding. The grinding machines use a high pressure. They're cleaned with chemicals. There might be metal shavings in the meat, very small amounts. Not that you might like get it caught in your tooth or something, but specks, like micro specks, right? But that all adds up. Raw hamburger from the grocery store also has stuff called pink slime in it. So I have a short on this, Mud Daddy, and pink slime is where they take the remnants of cuts of meat, they put it in a centrifugal machine, and then they get all the bits off the meat and the fat of these bones and other things, and then they spray it with ammonia. Okay, the ammonia it turns it pink, and then they grind it up and they add it to grind. So if you're buying packaged ground beef from the store, there's a pretty good chance it has pink slime in it. If you buy raw hamburger, it's best to buy it at the butcher counter and have them grind it in front of you for you. So, I hope that was informational for you, Mud Daddy. I think that might help you, because if you eat raw hamburger, you obviously want to eat hamburger and not pink slime. Am I right? That's not the American way. The pink slime is antithetical to the American dream, the American ethos of freedom, of liberty, of brotherhood, and we need to be healthy. Patriots need to be healthy, and patriots are not going to be healthy on pink slime. Pink slime is some libtard garbage, okay? You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Gentlemen, there's no ladies in here. Who am I kidding? Tartare is good as well. If you grind the meat once, that's good to eat raw. It's not going to make good hamburgers, but it is going to be good to eat raw. It's going to make a good beef tartare. Beef from a farm tastes a lot better than beef from the store. Beef from the store kind of tastes like hot dogs sometimes. Yeah, I don't think there will be Primal restaurants because it's just regulations and health issues, unless it's set up as an exclusive membership thing. But again, you have to have enough people to have that kind of restaurant. Maybe it could be open on the weekends, but like unless you're sharing your space with somebody, it's not going to work out financially. Just no way. Just no way. Yeah, ground beef is chopped. I see all these GOATUS cells on TikTok. They're like 15 years old. They're like eating the beef and then chasing it down with milk because the beef is so disgusting. And they're like, they just can't do it. And then they're not digesting anything. They're not digesting anything because they're diluting all their stomach acid with milk, which is, yeah, it's not going to work. If you're drinking like cold milk and meat, it's not going to work. Like, you're not going to make it, bro. The earliest humans. So, Cub, you work at the butcher store and you grind it fresh, but you look in the cooler section where they sell the beef, and the pre-packaged ground beef that you don't grind, it will have pink slime in it if it looks pink. It's added. It's 100% beef, USDA regulations, and a lot of pink slime also goes to like McDonald's and Burger King and stuff. So, but it does end up in grocery stores. The cheap ground beef, Agenus cells, MOG, Gouda cells. It's it's like barely. It's barely, honestly. A lot of Agenus cells are, yeah. I mean, let's put it this way. I don't know many Agenus cells who can do 30 push-ups. Gouda cells can't do 10 push-ups because they'll have a heart attack. Or they'll just say it's not natural and then just walk into the forest. But yeah, I, I don't know. Yeah, it's, to be honest, it's barely. Um, I mean, you have your examples, your Bobins, your Patrick Ivans. They're one in a million for sure. Um, and I don't want to brag or anything, but if I applied myself and worked out again, I would be formidable. I would be a good example. Like, this is pretty weak. This isn't anything to write home about. But I can do handstand push-ups. So, and a lot of people can't do that. No Gouda cell. There isn't a Gouda cell alive who can do handstand push-ups. Right. And that's what I'm talking about, Cub King. I'm talking about the pre-packaged stuff that comes from, companies. Yeah, it's maybe less than it used to be, but yeah, if you're grinding it fresh at the grocery store, that's one thing, and that's generally like the safer stuff to eat. But this stuff that comes in packages, it's not good. That's not good. So, yeah, and ground beef, like I consult people, and they're like, I'm like, what are you eating? They're like, oh, I eat ground beef, and they are like telling me of these health problems. I'm like, yeah, you need to stop that. You need to eat like real meat. It'll be better for you. You'll be better. And yeah, they get better. It's better for them. So yeah, I know. I was the same way. I started out too because it was easy. It was cheap. I'm like, oh yeah, ground beef. Oh, it's dangerous, and yeah, but it wasn't really that good. Right, and that's I don't really like to buy from the case, because, well, okay, so the case being the retail storefront, but the cooler, I don't like to buy stuff from the cooler because it's got more plastic and it's on that little meat pad that sucks up the juice, and who knows how long it's been sitting there. I don't like that. Yeah, meat from a farm is way better for sure. The beef fat is fine. The beef fat is fine. Cub, if you're trying raw chicken, get Bell and Evans chicken because that's air chilled. Any air chilled chicken will do, but Bell and Evans is a great brand. I buy it on sale. I just got some for sale today. Chicken tenders, $6 a pound. Usually they're $12 a pound. It's like half off, so that was pretty good steal. And I didn't need the chicken, but I thought, well, if I buy the chicken, it'll be good and I'll have it because my other chicken will run out by then, so I'll have meat for sale. Oh, I would eat the finest meats no matter what they were, Andrew. I'll tell you what. Okay, this is my ultimate diet. So I'd wake up, I would eat cheese. It would be Fraser cheese from Amos Miller. I would cheese pull with Fraser cheese from Amos Miller. And then I would spit out that cheese. I would eat more cheese. And then I would do another cheese pull. I would spit that out. I would eat one egg. And then I would drink a vegetable juice concoction made from the cleanest vegetables, best vegetables. I'd probably hire somebody to manage my own garden and greenhouse so I could have everything year round that I wanted. It would be celery, beets, parsley, cilantro, like 1% comfrey, ginger, and rhubarb. And I would drink a cup of that. An hour after that, and I would have fresh cream and egg in the vegetable juice. Okay. And then an hour after that, I would eat beef. I would eat a sirloin steak, a nice sirloin steak, or maybe something fattier, actually. Maybe something like a porterhouse or a New York strip or a ribeye. And I would eat that with my special ketchup recipe because it's so good. I would eat that. And then I would eat cheese before, obviously, and after. And then after, I would eat cheese, butter, and honeycomb. Cheese, butter, honeycomb. And then I would wait 30, 40 minutes, and I would drink a little lube formula, like half a cup, maybe a cup of lube formula. And then 30, 40 minutes after that, I would drink more vegetable juice. And then I would wait an hour, and then I would have, I'd have meat, probably oysters, scallops, and more beef. I would also have oysters and scallops with every meal. I would eat a pound of scallops every day. Probably. Yeah, a pound of scallops every day. So I'd eat a third of a pound with every meat meal. And then after that meat meal, I would do cheese, butter, and honey with dates too. I'd have some dates, a few dates with butter and cheese. And then I'd start drinking milk. And then, 2 hours after that meat meal, I'd probably have another vegetable juice. Maybe not. Or maybe a sport formula. My fruit meal. Maybe a fruit meal. Coconut cream. A little kiwi, a little pineapple, a little mango. Dairy cream, some honey. Something like that. That'd be nice. Or just some peaches and cream, berries and cream, something like that, But for cleansing, definitely the pineapple, the kiwi, the mango. Just little bits of each blended up with the coconut cream and dairy cream. That would be super tasty, super refreshing. And then, dinner time would roll around. Again, some swordfish, maybe some tuna, and some beef. Just the best of each. And then oysters and scallops as well. I'm talking like probably 7, 8 oysters every meal, maybe even a dozen oysters every meal. So 36 oysters a day, a pound of oysters a day. A pound and a half of meat a day. At night, I would have a milkshake, a strawberry milkshake, or something, a blueberry milkshake, something like that. And then milk and stuff. But yeah, that's generally what I would eat if I just was a baller. Fraser cheese all day, oysters all day, scallops with every meat meal. Yeah. How does that sound? Plastic seeps into the meat, but I don't really worry about it. Bellin Evans. That's unfortunate. Yeah, just try to find an air-chilled chicken. The cost of that a day Well, a pound of scallops and 24 oysters, 28 oysters, is like $60 already. Half a pound of Fraser cheese is $10. Let's say it's a dozen eggs. That's another, $5. Pound and a half of meat a day of, beef and fish is probably like, if we're talking all that, half a pound each, that's $30. So we're at like $120 already. The fruit is another, maybe $3-4 a day because I'm not eating like tons of fruit. The honey is probably like another $5 a day, $6 a day. So that's like $150 a day on food. So we're looking at easily a food cost every month of $3,500. That's what I would spend on food every day. That's what I will spend on food every day. That is going to happen. It's already happened. I just have to catch up to the events, the time. So, yeah, the scallops and oysters are underrated. You should be eating scallops with oysters with a meat meal once a week, at least. 3 to 4 scallops and like 7 oysters, 6 oysters. Yeah, I love scallops. $32 a pound. $26 a pound is a really good price, actually. I pay $31 a pound. As high as 40, depending on where I go, but I try to go to the cheaper places. And dry packed, of course. You should only eat dry packed scallops. So, but yeah, that's what I would eat in a day. That's what I will eat in a day when I become a total baller. Oh, it's already worked out, Xander. It's already worked out. I'm just gotta claim it, and I'll get there. So, don't worry. Thank you. Nah, you'll get there, Andrew. You don't need sustenance and nourishment when you make it to heaven. So, yeah, my soul's kind of cooked right now. I gotta repent big time. I don't know if I'll make it. We'll see. We'll see. If purgatory's the best I can do, so be it. The things I've lived through can't be any worse than purgatory. Honestly. No, the best dates are Deglet Nor dates. And I don't have a brand name because I can read Arabic, but not very well, but I don't bother to look up the alphabets and learn the alphabets, exactly to figure out what's on the box. But Deglet Nor dates are the best because they're minimally processed and dried. So they're not fully dried when they're shipped. So there's not chemicals on them. There's no sulfides on them. And they have the best taste. They're creamy. Deglet Nor are not steamed. I looked this up. Some of them can be steamed, but I'm pretty sure Deglet Nor dates are not, because they're not aspirated, or they're naturally aspirated. Yeah. Yeah, Deglet Nor dates are not typically steamed. They're picked when they're ripe. They're dried naturally on the tree. The dates are sorted. There's a chance they may be steamed, but if they're naturally dried, If you are getting pitted dates, they're probably steamed, because when you pit a date, they dry out. So I found that, and this is, I've eaten dates before, like pitted dates aren't good. They're dried out and they have to rehydrate them. But Deglet Nor dates, they literally just take the branches and shove them in a box and ship them. Figs are not a big part of my diet. I have never actually eaten a fig before. It's on the list. I'd like to do that. I hear good things. I always liked fig Newtons as a kid, so I should probably eat figs to detox the fig Newtons. I think that's how that works. I'm pretty sure Ajna said that. Yeah. I mean, if you're worried about the steaming, I would do that. Yep. I eat the Algerian dates. It's exactly what I eat. They come in a light brown box. Still on the vine, still moist. They are good with cheese. Dates with butter sucks. Dates with butter is gross. I don't know how people do it. You see people, it's usually girls, they have the plate and it's like 8 dates on a plate with butter in the middle. It's disgusting. You have to have the cheese and the butter with the dates to get the full effect and the best taste. The cheese really balances the sweetness of the date. The butter does not complement the taste and the texture of a date. It's too mushy. But the cheese is like where it's at. Yeah, just walk in and say, Habibi, give me Deglet Nor dates, please. And they'll hook you up. They'll say, I got you, Habibi. And they'll give you the dates, the Deglet Nor dates. There's also other kinds of dates. There's a whole world of dates out there. It's really exciting, and I'd like to dive into it at some point. If I brushed up on my Arabic, it would be better, but yeah, there's some incentive to do that, but yep. Yeah, the Deglet Nor dates changed my life. I pay like $10, $12 a box. $10 a box if they're on sale. And it's a really good value. There's like 100 dates. I mean, they pack these boxes full of dates. They must have dates growing out of their ears over in Algeria. It's crazy. Damn. I'm streaming again. I was like, I'm not going to stream tonight. And it's fucking 11 o'clock. Excuse me. Excuse my language. Yeah, I think I'm like a third of the way done with this. No, I'm halfway done with the vegetable juice document. Oh yeah, I just farted really good. Uh-oh. LexisNexis just linked almost 500,000 social security numbers. That's so fun.
Say, let's stop attacking pedophiles. How about we all come together and say, let's stop attacking pedophiles?
Oof, that's rough. Let's go back to the chat. How did I learn Arabic? I learned it in college. I took a whole year of Arabic in like 8 weeks in the summer. It was crazy. It was like the craziest thing I ever did in college. crazier than anything else I did. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna try to learn this vastly different language to anything I've ever done and have no frame of reference for. I didn't even know the alphabet, and I'm just gonna learn it in one summer, and I did. Class was like every day for like 4 hours, 3 hours, and then I had to go home and study for like. When I first started, I had to go home and study for like 6 hours. Yeah, it was Ted Cruz. Um, it was like, yeah, it was crazy because I had to learn the whole alphabet and how each letter sounded, and that took the most time. But once I did that, it was pretty easy because you were doing it every day, you know, like as opposed to like in college classes, like 2 days a week, maybe three. But this was like every day, so I was really like immersed, and it was good. And yeah, I had this classmate. His name was Jamal. He grew up in Saudi Arabia. He was from Ghana. His dad worked at Aramco, and he would tell me like everything about Saudi Arabia. He's like, "Oh, I used to live, in the Aramco compound, and it was pretty dope. And there'd be like some parties and stuff." And he ended up in Ohio, some state university, and like he would never buy a book. He's like, "Oh, I can't buy a book. It's too expensive." And he would always like bum off my book, and I'd help him out. I'd be like, "Yeah, you can use my book," and and we did some homework together. And he helped me like because he spoke a little Arabic, but by the end of the Arabic course, I was better at speaking Arabic than he was, honestly. And we would go to the computer lab. I forget why we would go to the computer lab. There wasn't really any homework on the computer. Or no, maybe we did have assignments. But he would look at gym girls online, and he'd be like, "Oh, look at this one." And we'd look at gym girls together on the computer. Like he was, he had that dog in him, and it was pretty funny. Um, but yeah, the other funny part was like he never bought a book because he was too cheap, and his dad wouldn't send him money and all this stuff. But he was living in this really big house with like these four other African dudes, and it was really weird because like they couldn't really speak English. And what he was telling me that this one dude who was there, he's like, "Oh, this guy, he's a baller. He has 21 kids in Africa." And I was like, "What?" It's like, "Yeah, he has 21 kids in Africa. He's got like 4 different baby mamas, and he has 21 kids in Africa." And this kid's like, he's like 23 or something, 22, and he's got 21 kids. It's insane. And then he left them to come to America to party and go to college. um, yeah, I went to a party once. He threw at his house. It was kind of lame. He told me it was funny. He gave me some African wisdom. He's like, "You eat a lot of roots. You're very strong. Like you eat a lot of roots. You're very grounded." I said, "Oh, really? Like, what do you mean?" He's like, "Yeah, you eat many roots, so you're very strong, very grounded, very earthy." He's like, "I like that. That's good. You're strong." And I was like, "Okay, thanks." Yeah, it was pretty funny. And he'd always like ask for help with stuff. He wasn't a very good student, but he was a decent enough guy. Um, yeah. Good times. Good times. Yeah. That was my experience of learning Arabic in college. And I did kind of befriend this one kid. He was kind of a lib, but we would play games in Arabic class, and I got real competitive because I like to win. And he would like make fun of me for. He's like, "You're competitive." It's like, well, yeah, I want to win. What you want to lose? Losing sucks, dude. Like, I'm gonna win. You know, it was something like she'd say a word and we'd have to write it in Arabic and show them that was one of the games. The funniest part was there was this girl in my class, and um, she was like kind of a know-it-all. She was like, "Oh, I want to work for the UN," and her dad was a political science teacher, and she was like half Israeli, learning Arabic, which that'd be a lot like more sus nowadays, but back in the day. And she was like, I think she was like a two-state solution kind of gal, but she was talking about how she could like get a house in Israel, and I told her I was teaching classes, and she was like, no, you can't do that. And I was like, what do you mean? I got an offer. I'm teaching classes in the fall. And she's like, no, you're not allowed because you don't have a master's degree. And I was like, listen, like, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm teaching classes. Look. And she's like, oh, wow. And then, like, I kind of told her off and ignored her, and she was, like, kind of into me, I'm pretty sure. But I didn't want to date her. She was decent looking, but I don't know. She just was very professional minded, and, you know, yeah. We just didn't. It wouldn't have been a good match. Wouldn't have been a good mix, let's say. Would not have been a good mix. Um, yeah, a lot of characters in college, man. I was a character. I wore headphones all the time and listened to music. I listened to music compulsively to escape my own thoughts and feelings and avoid people. And I'd bring a book everywhere I went. So I would get to class on time or early almost every day. And I would just have my headphones on and I'd be reading a book and totally like not interacting with anybody generally. Yeah. So, yeah, that was college for me. Like I said it before, all I cared about was sleeping, going to work, and doing my studies. And then the rest of the time, I watched The Wire. I got really into The Wire, which is a really great show. I watched The Wire like twice, and I watched it in a row. Like, I watched it, and I was like, oh man, that was so great. What am I going to do now? I'm going to watch The Wire again. It was good. Yep. And the crazy roommate stories, I told you about that. I lived in public housing. That was crazy. Um, Someone got stabbed outside my house once. I was always at school when the exciting stuff happened. No, I wasn't on the diet back then. Okay, so this is the diet I was eating. I'd spend $15 a week on groceries. I would go to the store. I would buy these mutated GMO sweet potatoes that save a lot. They were like 50 cents a pound, and they were like as big as my head. And I would eat those. I would cut those up with spices and onions and eggs. And I'd eat potatoes, eggs, and onions pretty much like every day. I'd eat one orange for lunch. I'd take an orange to lunch, and that's all I would eat, or a tangerine. I didn't eat breakfast. So I'd wake up. I wouldn't eat breakfast. I'd walk to school. I'd go to class. And then I'd go to lunch, and I'd go to work at tutoring. And then I'd eat an orange or something there. That's all I would eat. And then I would go home, and I would cook up. I would either eat cheap boxed macaroni and cheese with canned tuna, and peas. I might have a peanut butter and honey sandwich for dessert. I'd also eat things like oatmeal, the potatoes, the eggs, the onions. I would make that. Tuesdays, they had $2 personal pizzas. I would get one of those, sometimes two. Sometimes I'd add pepperoni. I'd save up all my change and go to get a burger once a month, a burger and a milkshake and some onion rings. That was like my big treat once a month. And yeah. And sometimes I might get a little Caesar's pizza. Sometimes I might get a burrito at the food place. I ordered insomnia cookies sometimes, but it got expensive. But yeah, that's what I was eating in college. I weighed 110 pounds. I used to weigh 110 pounds. I was literally a stick. My diet was awful. But I was only spending like $60 a month on food. It was crazy, bro. It was crazy. Um, yeah, it was not good. Not good. I would not have been able to do the diet in college at all because I was living on nothing. I was living on $8,000 a year. Just $8,000 a year, man. And that was back in 2012. So that was like crazy. Yeah. Rent was $212 a month. Yeah. Public housing, man. What a life. I met this guy. He was a Native American and he was a wind talker in Vietnam War. And he was huge, man. He was huge, but he was crazy. He was like insane. And he was telling me how like he would make me a bow and arrow, a bow. He said, if you want, I'll make you a bow. Pay me like a couple $100 or something. And he said he would go into the woods and he would find the tree and he would cut it down, and he'd make me a bow out of it. He'd find me the best wood to make a bow because he was Native American. He knew how to do this stuff. Xander, if you have crippling health issues, just write a letter about how you're disabled or something and overcoming the challenges, and apply as disabled, and you'll get scholarships and you can get a free ride and free tuition. That's what I would do if I was in your shoes. Andrew, go to college if you're 23. You can study stuff that's worth going to college for. Um, you know, yeah, my own personal Squanto, exactly. Yeah, and if you go to the right groups, you can find, a nice girl maybe. It'll be hard, but the key is you'd want to find a girl who lives at home and goes to college and commutes, because she won't be doing, she won't be indulging in things like the rest of them. No, I mean, I don't think college. I think college is worth going to. I think college is worth going to if you know what you want to study, and it's going to be a good field. Or like, look, put it this way: if you get a scholarship or a full ride, whatever, like, you're not going into debt. So you can basically study whatever you want if you're passionate about something. Um, if you don't have to worry about money, it opens you up to do things at college. Um, you can always work at college. You know, there's a lot of perks to that. Um, you can study in something like cybersecurity or engineering, and you know that would be pretty good. Um, Even if you have to pay for it, it might still be worth it. You can always go to a community college, and that you can like work and pay for. Like just work to what you can work for and pay for what you can pay for without debt. But honestly, I think they're going to forgive student loan debt anyway, so yeah, I think it'll be a surprise, Xander. It helps a lot of people. So, you just got to zero in on what the problem is and eat the right foods. Get your sleep and get some sun. And don't stress as much because stress is bad as well. Stress, fear, anxiety. We're going to say collate instead of eliminate to be fancy. Yeah. So I think college is definitely worth it if you do it right. It's about connections too. You can make some good connections, and you don't have to join a fraternity or whatever, you know. So you make good connections, you can get a good job. You befriend someone whose dad owns a company. Hey, you network, you can probably get a job with that company, bro. Like, it's all about who you know, really. Honestly. So, I mean, the job market's cooked. Like in America, we only produce 1 to 1.5 million jobs a year. That's the amount of new jobs we make. 4 million. Well, let's say we make 2 million jobs a year. 4 million high school graduates every year. We have 4 million high school graduates every year. So we have twice as many graduates as new jobs are created. Twice as many people graduate high school than we have jobs for. So just put that into the back of your mind for a second. And then the government is actively importing people to work for cheap. Non-skilled labor, farm labor, landscaping, construction, and then white-collar work as well, H-1B visas, O-1 visas, student visas. That's the other thing is it's like thousands and thousands of student visas every year. So all those student visas take spots away from American students because universities get to charge international students like twice as much. So it's crazy. So you're working against all that. So it's even worse if you don't have a college degree. It's even worse if you don't have a high school degree. The government and corporations are actively working against the working people because they're importing massive amounts of cheap labor that corporations take advantage of, and they also use it to suppress our wages. It's a big F, bro. Big F. And I know it because I'm transitioning into tech. I talk to people who are in tech. You read the stories online, plenty of stories. People who have 2 degrees can't find a job. It's crazy. People who aren't working in their field. People who have just given up. I don't know. I can't really blame them because it's like, what's the point? But you can't lose hope. That's the thing. You can't lose hope. And you have to strive to something. This is when Walker shows up. But no, you have to strive to something. You have to build skills in some way. Even if you do NEET and get money from the government, you still have time to build and develop skills and then use those to do things. So, there's opportunities with states, job creation, not job creation, but what do I want to say? Continuing education and development. If you meet a certain financial benchmark, you can get boot camps and continuing education paid for. In some states, if you're a resident, you don't even have to pay for college if you're below a certain income threshold. So there's ways to do things. There's no reason just to give up hope. The other thing, too, is if you get a college degree, any college degree, and you speak English, you can go teach English in an Asian country. Pretty much no questions asked. It's very easy to do. And that's a fun experience. You can travel and get paid. The quality of life is comparable or better depending on where you go. The pay is not the best, but if you factor in the cost of living, you'll save money. You'll be able to save maybe more money than you would back home working that kind of job, plus less stress in some ways depending on what and where you work. But it's a fun new experience as well, so it's a good way to travel. Ehlers Danlos. I'm not going to Google that and get something gross, am I? Oh. Connective tissue disorders. Okay. So it's caused by mutations in genes that encode proteins involved in production, structure, or function of collagen. Okay, so that tells me you probably have problems with your pancreas. That tells me that you need to eat white fish and chicken and drink lube formulas, lots of lube formulas. So lube formula, beef and fish, and chicken. I mean all three meats, but more fish and chicken. No, more chicken. Chicken, fish, and beef in that order. And lube formulas every day. And cucumbers as well. Puree cucumber with some cream and eggs and honey, and eat that. That's what you need. And hot baths. That's what you need, Xander. The 5-minute consultation. That's what you need. Lube formula, chicken, fish, beef, in that order. Baths, cucumber with cream and honey and eggs. Get started. The lube formula. One quart of lube a day, probably, which is insane. It's like 2 pounds of butter a day. But if you're that messed up, that's what you need for your joints and your skin. It will also help the endocrine system, your pancreas. So the pancreas has an important role for proteins. How proteins are used in the body. White fish is good for the proteins, the pancreas. So that would be helpful for you. And scallops as well. Yeah, big time on scallops. Yeah, and those are all really good foods to eat. Pretty easy to get generally, especially fish. Most markets have it. Chicken, air chilled, is fine. So, and you can drink the lube with the meat meals. It's fine. Cucumber, eggs, cream, and honey would be a good fruit meal midday. Scallops with the meat meals. Yeah, you should be set with that. Generally. I mean, I don't know your whole story, but just for that condition, that's where I would start. Awesome. How long have you been streaming? I'm gonna check the time. I can't see the time. I'm gonna check the stream. It's gonna say like 2 hours. Oh, okay, so almost 2 hours. Damn. But I did make some good progress on my thing here. Cabbage juice. Oh, let me switch back to chat. Okay, chat is quiet. We're just you just got me on in the background. I appreciate it. Yeah, so the lube formula in general is good for getting nutrients and fats to the joints and connective tissues. That's why you drink it as a drink with the lemon, because it helps get the butter everywhere through the body, the endocrine system as well. It's helpful for that. Yeah, so you need that. He needs that. And actually, the milkshake is better for gaining weight than the lube formula. Honestly, that's how I gained weight. Because I wouldn't buy butter. I didn't want to spend the money on butter, so I just drank milkshakes, and I gained hella weight. Did I get my time yet? Nope. 1,400 hours, by the way. No, I don't want to look at that. I want to check this. Could you make the formula in milkshakes without honey? Yeah, you could, but they're not going to digest very good.
So where did the 6 million come from? They come from the imagination. Rather new and different things. Happy clapping. Wherever what is nice, everyone synchronization of capitalism and commerce is true. It's choosing like capitalism, choosing like commerce. So there's no surprise.
The benefits, not really. You're not going to digest it as well. That's the thing. I mean, if you use cultured butter and sour cream and that, it's fine. You don't need insane amounts of honey. We're talking 2 to 3 teaspoons in 2 pints of milkshake or loop formula. That's it. 2 to 3 teaspoons. Yeah, I mean, honey isn't going to really bring you out of ketosis. It's not enough. It's not that much, bro. Like, you're going to be aight. Trust me. So. Who's a groiper? I don't even know what a groiper is. Oh. Insomnia. Well, you don't have insomnia because you eat honey. Yeah, I don't know. I was just someone sent me something on Instagram. Or no, I was scrolling a reel. Sorry, I shouldn't be scrolling. I shouldn't be multitasking, but I'm cooked. But yeah, there's no groipers here. That's crazy talk. Good night, Andrew. God bless. Yeah, I mean, you just need more raw fats and cream. You could try claying milk. That will help. You know, there's a lot of things you can do. Read my article on insomnia, Bill Jim. That will guide you in the right direction. It really shouldn't be honey. Like, because sugar crash will get you to sleep. Diogenes used to tell people to eat eggs, a bunch of eggs and honey, and that was his like insomnia fix, his sleep fix. Someone want to fill me in why Netflix is canceling? Everybody's canceling Netflix. What happened? Yeah, read my insomnia article on primaldietcoaching.com. What's going on with Netflix? Let's see here. Not that I use it. I'm just curious what they did. Oh. Woke content. Yeah, there's some woke content. They're boycotting the woke content, everybody. Boycotting Netflix for woke. They go woke, go broke. That's what's happening. Typical. Excuse me. Alright, it's 11:30. I need to wrap this shiz up. Because I want to watch a little Demon Slayer, I think. Let's see here. How many more pages do I have to do? Oh, I have to do 11 more pages. Yeah, I think it's even worse now, though. Some trans show, something to do with the Transformers. I don't know. Huh. Iodine and cabbage juice. That's, Let me check. I only check the top chat instead of the live chat. Oh. Going to the bar. Yeah, bring your eggs to a bar. Rizz up some baddies. Say like, hey, do you want to see a magic trick? Watch me make this egg disappear without breaking the shell. And then, suck the egg out and break it in your hands. I do that one. People like it. They're like, oh my gosh. How'd you do that? What, did you eat the egg? It's like, yeah, sweetheart. That's what I do. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, Hello Kitty is an icon, and anime is actually pretty popular. I guarantee there's some baddies who watch Demon Slayer. Guarantee it, bro. Yeah, it's just because anime is cool and trendy. It's cool and trendy because a lot of these girls, they do the cosplay stuff and they get a bunch of attention and they can become famous. So it's like validated as like a valid career path to be a cosplay e-girl. So other women, they'll support that stuff because it props up, women. So I can't imagine there's a lot of good e-girl cosplays for Demon Slayer, but it doesn't really matter. I'm talking about anime holistically. A few spelling mistakes here, but nothing too bad. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a cute little cat that's on merchandise, and they maybe had like a show once. I don't know. I just know Hello Kitty is an icon, and it's funny. I was on TikTok and somebody was eating raw meat off a Hello Kitty plate. So the Hello Kitty meta is real, guys. It's not just me. There's a zeitgeist for a Hello Kitty resurgence in the raw meat community. I mean, it just goes hard, so. I thought about getting a Hello Kitty flip phone, but that might be too much. Because I want to get a flip phone, and I saw a Hello Kitty one. But all the stuff was in Japanese, so I have to, like, program the phone to have English in it. I have to download an English dictionary, install it on the phone, and, yeah, do that. Which, it's too much work. I don't know. I mean, I'm not really wearing it unironically. Like, Hello Kitty is, like I said, Hello Kitty's an icon, It's like, it's chic. It's, it's artistic. It just is. You know what I mean? I mean, I know what you're saying. Like, yeah, if I have like a Hello Kitty backpack and like Hello Kitty stuff, like, and I'm, kind of wearing other zesty clothing, yeah, that's a little sus. But if you're just wearing like the shirt, I mean, you know, it's kind of the same way, some people will wear like band shirts, they obviously you can't name more than 3 songs. But like, I don't know, it's like, yeah, it's Hello Kitty. So it speaks for itself. I mean, it's like, yeah, how do you even get into Hello Kitty? Let's look at this. Let's look at some Hello Kitty lore. Hello Kitty Island Adventure. Yeah, that was a game. A British anthropomorphized white cat with a red burrow. London suburb. Wow. Hello Kitty is over 60 years old. I'm sorry, 50 years old. Media. There was an animated series in the 90s. There's comics. There's music. A Vocaloid. Hello Kitty. Hello Kitty Island Adventure. A lot of Hello Kitty games. That's the most Hello Kitty media is video games, which is surprising. But there you go. Oh, Lickin' D. Lickin' D's nuts. Yeah. I'm not going to fall for that one, Bill. Bill, I think I'm going to do what I want. I actually know style. I mean, I was pretty early to the game of this raw meat stuff, so I think you're going to see Hello Kitty come back in a big way. You need to get fat. You need to get an ice bag for your head. Yeah. That's what you need to do. Wash time is not as good this week or this day. Yep. That's pretty much it. That's all I can tell you. Most detoxifier heavy metals should never exceed 3% of your total juice volume. Yep. You should be excessively sweating in the hot bath. You should also have a thermometer so you can monitor the temperature. No, you're fine, Kira. Spam away, honestly. It's good for the engagement. It's good for the algorithm. I don't mind. That's why I do this. So, I'm working on a document right now for my school community, and I just have this open just to take questions and yap. It needs to be black. Spring water is not enough. You really need like some watermelon, some cucumber, eggs, milk, hydration formula, any of those things. Spring water is not great most of the time. It's ozonated, so find a brand that isn't ozonated. And I'd like Gerolsteiner or Bajormi. What's up, Mud Daddy? We are chilling. I'm working on a document. Yeah, I mean, I guess if that's your opinion of what Hello Kitty shirt is, but when I wear a Hello Kitty shirt, I wear it because Hello Kitty is a powerful icon, and the blue shirt is fire, honestly, and it's got stars and stripes on it. It's America. It's patriotic. Bill, my daddy Bill, is arguing with me about Hello Kitty. He's saying that I'm wearing this shirt and it's making me like feminine or something, which I don't get because it's not pink, it's blue. Yeah, you probably don't want to lose the weight, Kira, honestly. It'll come off naturally eventually. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I like the filtered stuff, the filtered comments, because like I don't really want to read like everything, you know. I mean, this is maybe a little too strict, but all right, we're just gonna save that, and I think last call for questions. We got 4 minutes, and then I'm gonna go watch anime because I've deserved it. Deserved it. I deserve to watch the anime. This is great. Yeah. So any questions? Last call. Aesthetics. Well, 5 kilograms is 10 pounds. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to body shame, but you know, if you got their weight in the right places, I mean, that's not really a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? I like women of various body types. I'm not necessarily into just one type. So, and I think a lot of guys are that way. So, I mean, unless you're trying to impress other girls, I don't know. But if you want to do the baths and get well on the diet and feel better on the diet, you need to have body weight. You should be 10 pounds overweight. So, I mean, if you're way overweight, then that's okay, lose some weight. But you'll also find that as you eat this diet, you will put on compact mass. So you might get heavier, but you won't look heavier, if that makes sense. So think about that. Think about that. And that's pretty much all I got to say about that. I don't know about a tracking number, man. I never ordered from him. You gotta call. I don't think he does tracking numbers. But yeah, you'll get your stuff. I think he ships on Tuesdays, and it's 2-day shipping generally. So, you know, you get your order in, you'll get your order that week. Generally, that's how it works. I think he ships FedEx. So, you know. You know. That's what I would do. But I mean, those are your options, right? So, yeah. Godspeed with that. You will make it work. I have faith. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I am signing off. See you next time. If you're in the school community, we have a Thursday stream Q&A at 7:30. And then I will probably be streaming Sunday.